Thank you for clicking on the video. In this video I'll be going over an STL file that I made of a Glock that is ready to be 3D printed. In this video I will be going over my personal recommended settings for Cura specifically and how to properly print it, along with after you print it how to paint it. This here is a Glock. I have no specific model number for this Glock because I used multiple different images to get a reference from to make this Glock. The Glock is ready to be imported into Cura as I have already set the proper proportions, so the moment you import it you should be able to slice it right away after you get the proper settings. The dimensions are different from Blender as they will be in Cura, but they are calculated in Blender units, so instead of meters these will be millimeters. If you are interested in this model, I am also selling it online for a mere $3. And now that we got everything out of the way, let's go ahead and import it into Cura. So first we'll just go ahead and import the file into Cura. Here the file loads in with no errors because I remeshed it, so you should have no problems with it. It does load into scale, so it should be ready to print. You can, however, scale it how you want, but I do not recommend flipping it to its side. I have printed it like this and it ruins some of the detail. It still works, and it may seem reasonable, but don't do it. Next, I recommend putting the settings like this. You can have the infill however you want, but I recommend your highest quality possible. After that, you want to go to top and bottom section of advanced and make sure you enable ironing. This will smoothen out the top and give it a more realistic look instead of having lots of strokes. After you do the top and bottom setting and enable ironing, you want to go ahead and skip through all the other settings or set to your preferred setting. However, I didn't need to do any of this. Go down to support, and what you want to do is enable tree support. And it doesn't really matter if you have it everywhere or touching build plate because it will just be touching the build plate. And I prefer tree support because if you do the other support, it'll likely rip off the trigger whenever you're removing the supports. The tree support does hold on to it a lot nicer, and it also provides better support around the delicate pieces. I do enable a brim on the build plate adhesion. This is because I believe it's better to have it supported with how much material there is on it. I do not believe the brim is necessary. I just think that it's better to have one just in case. You can try to print it without a brim. It will save you time and material. Here we sliced it. You can see that it's going to take an hour and 31 minutes. This is what your support structure should look like whenever it's finished. The total cost, if your filament roll was $20, should only cost you 9 cents worth of materials, meaning that you can more than likely print a good 10 or 20 out at a time and not have to worry about cost. This is why I choose the tree structure. You can see how it wraps around the trigger, but it doesn't hold on entirely, giving you enough room to remove the supports without tearing off the trigger. Now that we got this part of the video out of the way, I can go ahead and show you how to paint it and what it looks like after it prints to show that it actually prints on a 3D printer. Alright, welcome to part 2 of the video. This is what the Glock looks like. I will be showing you how I remove the supports, and then the painting part is simple. You just want to be careful on the supports because they do wrap around sensitive parts of the weapon. Alright, first I'm going to start and remove the back here because this here is more simple. You can just pull on it and tug like that and it will come off. And then you don't really have to worry about this back part here. It snaps off with ease and it doesn't hold much pressure on the keychain. I'm gonna pull off the brim, and now you are left with this around the trigger. And you want to be especially careful around the trigger. I would start by removing these that are closest to the trigger, wrapped on the inside. Good tug. And I managed to snap this off, and you can see here that it is still wrapped around the trigger, but it is in good condition. You just have to clip off the parts where they are connecting. Right here is a good location. It is on the inside. So squeeze until it clicks. Do so again until you can get it cut off. Now that it is cut off, it should slide free like this. And you may have to do a little bit of manual work, like these stray strings. You can cut these off here and work around where the brim was. And that's how you get your Glock keychain. This part is simple. It's more about just waiting. You want to make sure you have some ventilation in your room, and if you're serious about keeping your weapon in good condition, you want to use some primer, but I will not be using primer because this is for display only. I recommend getting any form of metallic paint. I'm going to use copper because this one I believe looks best out of all of them. Simply give it a light mist from different angles to ensure you have every cranny. When you get that down, I'm going to move it out of the way so it doesn't stick to the paper, and give it some time to dry, and after that do it from the other side. Alright, mine is not done drying. I just put some supports to hold it up to keep the contact from the paper. Do not follow my example on this. I recommend to fully wait for it to dry and then do the other side. You could potentially use another color if you wanted to do two colors on the same keychain. And here's the result. You can get the file online to make yourself for only $3. I'm leaving the link in the description. Thank you for watching.